hours of sleep to get this done. I took 2 3-hour naps and wrote 6 hours each time. Took a while since I write slow, but I text faster than I do slow, so it's easier to text than it is to write this thing. Because this would have been a pain in the ass to write. I mean, I have a book I can write it in, but this is going to end up being a visual novel, so it had to be written in script anyway. So let's start out with a phone here to let you guys know what the plot is of this. Turn that off. That. Delete. Boom. Let's go to cut to. Take out music, take out phone, take out that, go to notes, go back, and go to there. So the title of this will be The Deity's Heart, is what the book will be. This script is called. It'll be an anime. It's fantasy romance based. Plot. Here's the plot. Evan is a 180-year-old god that has more power than he can deal with. Edwin has been asked to go and search for a goddess, but hasn't had any luck for the last 160 years till one day, and that's the plot. Now, the thing you need to know about this series that I am making is that the gods in this, there are multiple of them. I made this book. I made this series. It was originally supposed to be a book, but I think it called for something more, something better, something I could do more with. So I turned it into a script. That way I can turn it into something bigger. So let's start with that. So gotta search my mind for all the stuff that I really need to say before I start reading this. So all gods in this there are multiple. I made it to where it'd be more like a mythology based, mythology based. So basically, it's like Greek mythology. There are multiple gods, and they all have specific stuff that they do. And the goddesses, they make sure that the gods' powers do not exceed a specific limit. That way it doesn't get too hard for them to handle their own power. Some gods can handle the power better than others, some can't. But some gods are way more powerful than others. Always. It's like Zeus, where he's the god of all gods and the god of lightning, stuff like that. But the way I have this written is that none of those gods are here. There are 7 of each, 7 gods, and there will be 7 goddesses. The other thing you need to know is that I have it set up to where there is one being that's above all the gods. That's the main character. When he passed, Edwin took over. And that god didn't have a goddess, and since Edwin is new to his job, he's only been doing it for like 108, 160 years to almost 200 years. He has only been doing it for that long, where the other gods have been doing it for thousands of years. So he was new, and It's hard for him to do this by himself. So he is looking for a goddess. Now, to search for the goddess, he has to look for a human. All gods come from humans because I made it to where, because if you think about it back like in the Bible and stuff like that, all God sees all created humans through his image. So a god goes down to a specific timeline or a universe, a world, any kind of world, and then brings them back. It takes a long time to find them, which is why it took a long time for him to find. Took a long time for Edwin to find his. Edwin will find her, but the way he finds her is a little hard, to say the least. I mean, he finds him in this episode, but I plan on making this really interesting, so it might be a little different than most things. I quite enjoy the way I wrote this, so I hope you guys enjoy this as well. So this is the book that I wrote back in high school, and it is called The Deity's Heart. It starts out with the introduction of Edwin Alphonse. Edwin Alphonse is the main god now. He's above everyone else. He makes sure everyone does their job correctly, and those gods are there to help him get used to his job. That'll be done in the synopsis of the next series that I plan on doing. This series will be based on him finding the goddess and then training her and then dealing with other instances that show up, like demons and stuff like that come up. I plan on putting those in there. But let's see here. What else do I need to do? Let's see. I think that's it. So yeah, the next, that's what I was saying. The next series that I plan to do after this one will be on Edwin Alphonse and his backstory. So that'll be the second series. I wanted to do it first, but it was too hard to do it. So I want to start with this series because I have more creative knowledge of what I want to happen in this series that I do in the synopsis of the new one that I want to do. So here we go. So we're going to start out with Edwin, and it says, "Hi, my name is Edwin Alphonse. I am a god." Yeah, I know how it sounds to hear. I know how it sounds, but that's right. Yeah, I know how it sounds, but hear me out. Now, I wasn't always a god, you see. I mean, I only been doing this job for about 162 years now. Definitely will go down in history as the longest job I'll ever have. For, you see, I was human once. And then everything changed. I think it changed for the better, don't get me wrong, but there's just one problem. Finding my goddess. I was 18 years old before... No, that's not right. See, I'm catching these things now. I'm going to fix that as well. It's supposed to say, I was 18 years old when I became God. And because I was a god, it stunts your growth when you become one. At least I can change what I look like and age, and I can also drink. I had to find her and soon, or this power I have will get too extreme even for me to handle. Is what I have for that, but I'm probably going to fix that later. There needs to be more. That's supposed to say I was 18 years old when I became God. God. I'm going to fix that real quick. I don't think that needs to be there, actually. We're going to actually take that out. I might actually rewrite that to make it sound a little better. I didn't think about it at first when I wrote it. There's a lot of like messages here, but the rest of it is him just talking. It's just the way he talks. So, all right, looks like I've got it narrowed down. Good. That's Edvin's talking, and then a goddess comes in, and then she says, "What do you have narrowed down?" Edvin goes, "Oh, hi, Kim. It's nothing. Just finished narrowing down my search, and well, if I'm lucky, this is the place." Kimberly goes, "Well, Kimber. I made her name Kimber because her main style of fighting and stuff like that is fire. So Kimber is like Ember. So I wanted to do that." Kimber also goes, "Now, don't get your hopes up too high, okay, Edvin?" Edvin goes, "Trust me, Kim, I'm not. I plan on being in Japan only for like a few years. And if I don't find anything, well, I will have a few other places she might be." Kimber goes, "How far are you going back this time?" 2013. Now, what you don't know is that this timeline is set up in, I think I had it set up to 2000 and I think it's 2160. Because he became a god around, I think I did that wrong actually. I might have to change that, but 2000 to 2160 is what I have set up for the timeline. So we're going back over 100 years to try to look for a goddess. So now we're going to go back to Kimber, and she says, "Wow, why so far back?" Edvin goes, "Well, I figured it would be easier to check further back because that is when I am from. Just had a little hunch is all." Kimber goes, "Well, I wish you luck and be safe. And as always, be safe." Read that wrong. Next, we got Edvin. "All right, then I guess I'll be on my way then." He vanishes and then goes to the other world. In the meantime, another goddess comes in named Levi, and she talks to Kim and goes, "Hey, Kim, did you see where Davine went?" And Davine is another god. I don't know what I'm going to have him do yet. I have a bunch of gods and goddesses that I have to set up to what their powers are going to be named as. Let's see here. So next is, I need to keep an eye on that time, is Kimber. And Kimber replies with, "Yeah, I saw him hanging out in the bar area with Travis. Something about having a bad day." Levi goes, "Okay, thank you, Kim." And then 2 hours later, Edvin arrives in Japan. The place he arrives at is called Nagano. That's where I set it in. We don't need a cat in here. I'm going to actually do that real quick. I don't need you here. Boom. Boom. I don't have a door, so I got to get a new one. The dog I had before broke my door. All right, so we're in Nagano, and we are looking for a place to put our house. So put a house to blend in with society there. He's already looks like everything. So, all right, now that I'm here, I need to find a piece of land to build a house now. Now, Edvin has a lot of powers, a lot of different powers and stuff like that. And right now he's using something called Time Sphere and Creation. He pairs them with each other to stop time and to rewrite time itself. That way he blends in. What Time Sphere does is that it literally just stops time, and then when he's done doing his creation, his stuff for creation, like making a house, everything that goes in it, the roads that go through it. He's going to a different type of land. He's looking for a piece of land to actually put a house on. That way he can look for this person and have somewhere to go when he's done and rest. Because even God rested on the seventh day, as everyone always says. That's true. But time sphere, like I said, stops time and then rewrites time. That way they know that he is there. Everything that comes from time sphere is like when they go into a world and then they use this, it literally stops time and rewrites time. That's what it does. And then creation, it literally does everything that you think it does. It does everything, creates buildings and everything from how to live life, having a vehicle, having money, having food and stuff like that. That way he can live there for a little while. He's going to be there for about a few years. So he has to have some way to do this. And like I said, creation is basically what you're basically thinking. So after he gets done, he says, there we are. Not too shabby of a design for a house. It's kind of cozy. Just need to. And then he snaps. And then everything goes back to normal. Time sphere ends and creation ends and he goes back to normal. So now we have Evan saying, all right, so I'll be going to Nagano High School. It looks like I'll be a second-year student as well. He plans on going to the school because that's when he's from. So he thinks that when he goes back this far, he's going to find this human that, what am I looking for? What's the word I'm using? Words I'm trying to use. Let's see. Let's see here. I just went with Nagano High School because it's just easy to do that. Use the place where in Japan I'm at and then use that name and then high school after. It just makes it easier. There's probably a high school there, but I don't know what it's called. I might end up doing some more research on Japan and look at Nagano, see if there's any high schools there, and then use that as my reference to that and probably change Nagano High School to the name of the high school that's probably there. It looks like I'll be a second-year student just because of plot convenience of going to school. It makes it more easier for him to go to school instead of just searching the whole entire world for him, because he knows that that he had a hunch that she was in Japan and it was a different timeline. So he had to go to a different timeline, different world and stuff like that to try to find her. So he's a second-year student as well. And what he thinks his hunch is that she goes to high school. So he does everything in his power to become a transfer student and stuff like that. So let's go back to this. All right, I'm going to Nagano High School. It looks like I'll be a second-year student as well. I also need to remember to sign up for that. He's going to be signing up for something called Discipline Committee. I don't know if you remember what that is, but I'm just going to leave that up to you guys. Okay, it's here. I also need to remember to sign up for Discipline Committee as well. It is only 7 p.m., so I'll go ahead and go to bed. School doesn't start till tomorrow. Next morning. Now we're at the next morning stage. All right, then. Now I look the part. Right then, I look the part. Now I just gotta act the part. Takes a deep breath. Let's do this. And vanishes to the school. So he teleports from his house into the school. He knows where it's at. So he knows the lay of the land already as soon. Another power for the gods that they have is once they enter a world, they earn the knowledge of everything in that world. So they know where everything's at and where they need to be. So another thing you can't really tell is if the person that you're looking for is a god or goddess because they're human. You're not going to be able to tell unless they notice something about you that you didn't really notice at first, and you're like, oh. Or some little small snippets. Edvin has tattoos, but they're not tattoos. They are seals that keep his power at bay because of how big his power is getting to, and it's hard for him to handle. So he created two different seals, one of a dragon and one of a phoenix. So one of destruction, one of life or creation. So where I'm at. Okay, cool. First one here. That's a relief. Let's take a look around the school. Everyone wanders around the school until he finds his homeroom class. Looks like I'll be in class 2A. Now the teacher, I need to put that. I didn't even notice that was like that. I don't need to do that. I need to do, that's why I have that there, because I was going to put Joyce. Joyce is the teacher's name, the last name, where I use Joyce as a last name for some reason. But we're never going to get too far into the teacher's full name, so not that I know of. We might, but not too sure. Teacher walks up to Edvin and goes, "Why are you here so early?" Edvin replies with, "Oh, hi, you must be my homeroom teacher, Joyce. Thought I would get here a little early since I'm new here. Maybe check out everything before it gets too crowded." So you're the new transfer student from Italy, right? Yes, my name is Edvin Alphonse. It's nice to meet you. Well, since you're here, want to check out the classroom? Edvin replies with, "Sure thing. It's not like I have anything better to do." So, do you have? Oh, that's right. That's why I have it written like that. So, do you have your eyes on any of the clubs here? Edvin replies with, "As a matter of fact, I do. The discipline committee. I'm really good at diffusing a situation. It's what I was doing at my old school before I got here. Well, wait, that's not right. That's supposed to be, well, okay then. Well, okay then. Sounds like a plan. Make sure to do your best, Edvin." Well, that's okay. That makes sense. That's well and that's well. Well, I will do everything I can. That much is true. And class is about to start in like 10 minutes, so stay outside the classroom for a bit so I can introduce you to everyone. All right, then. See you in a flash. Class is in session. Class starts mumbling, and at this time, the class is all chit-chatting and stuff like that. So, all right, class, settle down. We have got a new student who will be joining us today. I already had the pleasure of speaking with him. Edvin, you may come in now. Hey guys, my name is Edvin Alphonse. I'm originally from Italy. I decided to come here to Japan because I've always wanted to. My favorite color is sapphire blue, and I really like helping people. That's what I have said for him. Joy says, "Thank you, Edvin, for the introduction. Does anyone have any questions for this young man before he goes to sit down?" And we have a classmate that says, "I have a question," and his name is Kazuno. That's what his name will be for now. I had it set up as a different name, but it wasn't more of a Japanese style name. Joyce is just a teacher's name. I just thought of it being a simple name. So, yes, Kazuno, what's your question? Are you going to join any clubs, is what Kazuno says. And he says, "Yes, I will, actually. I was actually in this club before I left, and I was glad to hear that it was here as well. I'll be joining the discipline committee." Class starts mumbling again, chatter and stuff like that. And Joyce says, "All right, everyone, calm down. Anyone else? We got time for one more question?" I'm going to put question down. I only have one more put down there, so I'm going to put that down. Question. Question. We got time for one more question. And then this classmate his name is Naomi. 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 I have one. A question, that is. Yes, Naomi. What's your question? Naomi seems to be the one that we're going to be looking at right now. So, are you okay? You seem to be pushing yourself. Now, what you don't know is I'm going to be adding some stuff to this, some kind of in between stage where he's trying too hard to really communicate with the class and trying to output more than he should be, because he's been doing this for a long time. He's been doing this for 162 years. He's been to many schools, he's been to many worlds, he's been to many timelines and stuff like that. So he's been doing this for a long time, and he's still trying his best and his hardest to try to find this human that should become a goddess. So she points that out. Points out that he's pushing himself too much. And Evan replies with, he mumbles under his breath and stuff like that. He says, wow, she's able to tell. Well, I guess I can open up a little more. He sighs. I've been doing this bit for a long time, so it could stand to reason that someone would notice. You see, I've been to a lot of schools, and on every orientation I've been to, I've tried my best to keep my composure, so to speak. I guess I should let go of what has happened and start looking forward. So, all right, Evan, go ahead and pick your seat. Anywhere will be fine. Cool. I guess I'll sit here then. Sits next to Naomi. And that's where we're at right now. So let's go with Joyce goes with let's get started. So Joyce is the homeroom teacher. So the way I'm gonna have this set up for this school is that homeroom will be day 1, and then we'll have different classes throughout the series and stuff like that. So at least that's my plan anyway. This episode actually escalates towards the end. It's actually kind of builds up. It's more like an introduction to him and to the class and stuff like that. And then there is some drama in it and some stuff that happens, and we will discuss that here. So we are at question. Naomi, are you okay? All right, let's get back your seat to sit next to you. Let's get started then, class. Also, before we head out to lunch, you guys will be picking our 2 class reps. So do we have any takers? Naomi raises her hand. I'll do it. Okay. Ever have anyone else? Just one more. Class starts mumbling. They don't want to do it. They're just like, nah, I don't want to, and stuff like that. And they're just like, let's let her do it by herself again. So Joyce says, come on now, no one at all? Evan replies in his head, damn it, I'm gonna regret this. And then he exclaims, I guess I'll do it as well. Why not? It sounds like fun. I need to get out of my comfort zone anyway. So Joyce goes, thank you, Evan. Naomi normally does this on her own, so thanks. Thank you for that. We'll put thank you for that instead of thanks. There's still a lot of stuff I got to fix on this, so it doesn't really matter. I got to add more anyway. Thank you for that. There we go. No problem at all, is what Evan replies with. Bell rings for lunch after they pick their representatives. All right, class, time for lunch. I'll see you in a little while. Evan replies with, hey, Naomi, want to eat together? Unless it's a bother. Naomi says, no, not at all, actually. It would be a big help if you would stay. Evan replies with, is everything okay? Naomi replies with, well, we got a new student entering the fray. He is our antagonist. He will be a big part in this series, I think. I'm not too sure, but I plan on it. We got a lot of characters that I have written down that I want to use and stuff like that. and maybe characters that might change their names and stuff like that to make them more Japanese-esque. So we have Nile. Now, the way I have Nile spelt here is different than how it's normally spelled. I have Nile spelled Niyle. I actually wanted to spell Niyel, but I really like the way it looks. So he enters the room and he starts talking. He says, "Sup, Naomi? You changed your mind yet?" And he goes, "My answer is still no." Looks over at me. Looks over at Evan. And then now replies with, "Why not? I mean, come on. You know you want to." And Evan replies that, "Hey, man, if she said no, that means no. So why don't you just leave her be? But if you stay, I mean, we'll see what happens if you keep pestering her." I think I can't really be the bad guy. So Niall's actually the bad guy, and I can't really do those voices. So I'm not gonna really put on a bad guy vibe. I really don't like that. So how I have it originally written down is, "Hey man, if she said no, that means no. So why don't you just leave? But if you stay, well, just see what happens if you keep pestering Naomi." That's what I have written down here for Edmund's line. Now replies with, "Why don't you just piss off? You ain't gonna do shit. Now come on, let's go, Naomi." Niall grabs Naomi's arm and proceeds to drag her. And then Evan replies with, "Well, I did warn you." Niall drops Naomi's arms and he goes, "Wait, what? No, wait." And then Evan replies with, "Sorry. I don't give people like you second chances. It's just a waste of time." Evan trips Niall, then bashes his head on a desk. After that, Niall falls back, hitting his head on the ground, and then faints. And that was it for that. So, Evan replies with, "Well, I guess I'll take him to the infirmary. He'll be out for a little while." Naomi replies with, "Guess I'll see you in a little bit. Will you remember anything?" "No, I don't think he will. I hit his head against that table pretty hard. Damn, I hate people like this guy. They piss me off way more than I care to admit." And then picks up Niall, then takes him to the infirmary. After, returns to eat his lunch. Class resumes after the bell. I thought this was an interesting setup I had. The day was, I think I have the day set up as, I need to set this up as next Monday. Because this is this Monday. I have this set up as a small school. So sometimes they need to take a week off to set up classes and stuff like that of what they need to do. Since today was only homeroom, it was the first day of school, they're gonna do stuff here. So what I have written down is for Joyce, "All right, class, it looks like we'll be ending here for today. So be safe on your way back home, and I'll see you all on Monday." It is Monday now, and it'll be next Monday when they go back to school. So after that, Evan and Naomi walk side by side to the front gate. And the way I have Edmund set up, since he's really old, he lost a lot of people already. So you'll figure this out by yourself. So Naomi says, "So you know how to fight?" That's a question. Evan replies with, "Well, actually, I know more than just how to fight. When I lost my whole family, I kind of only had myself to rely on. I had to do everything from cooking to cleaning, as well as working, how to fight. I need to put this on. I need to put learning how to fight. LEARN, learning how to fight. How to fight and even pay bills. Naomi goes, "Oh, well, I'm very sorry for your loss. I lost my dad when I was 7 and my brother when I was 11. So I can only imagine what you've been through." Evan goes, "Well, I'm sorry for your loss too, Naomi. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a while since I've been able to talk about that." "No problem, Evan. How? What? Oh, that's why. I read the word wrong. Hey, so I have a question for you." Evan goes, "I'm all ears. What you got for me?" Naomi goes, "Would you like to hang out after school?" "I think I don't really need to put hang out after school, so I think I just need you want to hang out. So we'll do that. Would you like to hang out?" Evan goes, "Sure, but only on one condition." "What is that?" "Well, we gotta stop by my place. I'm not the kind of person that likes to wear their uniform after school hours. So, sure." Naomi goes, "Sure, but we gotta go by my place as well because I'm the same way." "Sounds like a plan." All right, we're in the final portion of this episode. This is going to be pretty long to begin with when I get it finished. So this is about his questionable past now. After Evan and Emma stop at her place, they go inside Evan's new house. Evan replies with, "Well, I'll be done in a few minutes. Just gotta wash up and get dressed." 5 minutes pass. Evan walks out without his overshirt. Evan replies, "Sorry it took so long. So, what do you want to go do?" And she just goes, "It's okay. I just sat here. Nice tattoos, by the way." Evan replies with, "Tattoos? Only have one, and it's on my back." "Wait a moment. Are you talking about the ones on my shoulders? You can see them?" And he goes, "What do you mean? Can I see them? They're right there, plain as day." Evan replies with, "Okay, yeah, I see why I put it like this. Okay, Evan, just calm down. You know what to do. Listen, Naomi, I'm gonna need you to have an open mind, okay, and believe everything I say, because it's gonna sound crazy. I mean, really crazy." Naomi goes, "Okay, you're starting to freak me out a little, but I'll try to have an open mind." Evan replies on his breath and his head, goes, "God, I hope this goes okay. I would hate to have to erase her mind. Naomi, I'm actually a god." And that's where it ends for the first episode. So there's a lot here. It looks promising. There's a lot of stuff I gotta do, a lot to fix on this thing. So I mean, these things are only going to be 23 minutes long to maybe 30. So I quite enjoy them. So I might have to probably change this title to my book title. But that's what I got right now. That's just the first episode. It's going to take me a while to write the second one. But I also got to revise this one. I mean, I revised it under the stream, so not all of it, but a lot of it. So I think that's going to be it. We're not really asking any questions. I wanted to do this stream to do a Q&A about stuff, but more importantly, I wanted to let everyone know why my YouTube name is what it is. And it's because of this. This is something I've been working on for years, and I've revised and redone it and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on in this and stuff like that. I've rewritten this story 3 different times. Once while I was in high school, once when I got out because it ended up getting deleted. I only had a small copy, so I had to rewrite it because it was too fast paced. That's what my teacher told me. That's actually a pretty cool story. So I'll go ahead and tell you that before we end this. So back in high school, I was writing this book. And for one of our classes in LA, language arts, we had a paper to write. Our paper was to write a short story. And I came up with the idea of using the book I was writing at the time as the short story. And once I finished the short story, it was pretty short. It was probably about, I did write it about, this is the 4th time I've revised and rewrote it. So my teacher came up to me and said, "Hey, this is pretty good. I don't think it should be this small. I think you have a pretty good idea for like a book idea or something like that." Is what she said. And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, that was the plan. I kind of took my book idea that I was already writing and made it into a short story for this project." So, well, she let me know that it was too fast paced and it could be way bigger. And I wanted to make this even bigger than it was. I wanted to make this like many seasons long, or like a movie or something like that. Something like a book that might be a movie one day, maybe, hopefully. But working on this idea for quite a while. Second time after high school, I went back to school and I was printing this out. I was rewriting it and stuff like that while I was at CTC. I had finished everything for the day and I didn't need to go to CTC that day, so I kept on writing and writing and writing, and I finished. Then I printed it out. After I printed it out, I thought I had clicked save, and I didn't. I had accidentally deleted it. So all I had to go on was this paper that was only about 24 pages front and back long. And it was originally about 35 pages front and back, so about 70 pages worth of content of what I wrote. And I had lost that one. I had wrote 2 different varieties. I had written one that was to the project, and then I had made a longer one, which was the one I had, and I ended up losing it. So after high school, I decided it was way too fast paced. So I took the one that I had, and then I gave it to my stepmother, who is a language arts teacher. She teaches something called English as a second language. So she's really good at checking abnormalities in the paper that I've written, so it make it easier for me to keep writing. So she had revised it, gave it back to me, see what I could look at, and then what I did was I rewrote it because it was too fast paced, and she had told me the same thing. Stepmom told me the same thing. It was too fast. It would be slowed down. So I ended up rewriting it. I only had about a few pages front and back at this time. And I had stopped and then started streaming. I started streaming games and stuff like that instead of writing the story that I had put on the back burner. And I just kept it on the back burner for so long. And now I'm back again. And when I went back to write it, it was gone. Because I didn't have a computer or anything at the house. So I ended up going to a library, and I had printed out the 2 pages, and all I have is what's up. So I was yeah. So after this, like after the third time, I had started writing, and then I was just like, I had hit a big writer's block, and I stopped. And then I kept streaming, and then put it back on the back burner. Now I'm back, and I'm writing it again. I rewrote it into script. Before it was in it was in third person, and then I was going to try writing in first person, but it was too difficult, and it just sounded stupid to write I every single time or relay back to the main character or the main person who is talking. So I decided to write it in script this time. Makes it easier because I planned on making it into a visual novel from the start anyway. So it's going to be a visual novel that ends up being very long. It's going to be like 3 seasons long. It's going to be like 12 episodes each season and like 12 to 13 episodes each season. So now that I'm back and doing it again, I plan on keep on this and keep on doing it. I still plan on streaming, but my primary objective is to get this done and to check everything off the list that I need to fix on this one, and then go to my second episode. This is a lot more complicated than I thought it was going to be, but I'm really enjoying writing right now, and it's really great. I love playing games. It's just that after playing games for so long, I needed to take a break. So after I took a break, I saw that, hey, I still have this stuff. Maybe I can do something with it. And I started having these, it's actually kind of funny because I started having dreams about this, about this idea that I've had. And it kept on coming up with this god and stuff like that, and this human becoming a god and then having a hard time with his powers and having to go find someone and going on like this journey and stuff like that. But I wanted to make it easier on him because he's probably going to be, when I do the second series, I don't know how long I plan on making that series. It's probably going to be 3 seasons. So there's going to be 6 seasons worth of content, hopefully, when this is done. God. Come back. But hope you guys enjoyed this little snippet at my the script that I have here, and I really hope you enjoyed it, because this is something I really like doing, and I really enjoyed doing it when I was in high school too, writing stuff and writing down everything. It was great. I loved it, and it wasn't the only thing I liked. I really liked math when I was in high school, but I really enjoyed typing. I really enjoyed typing stuff up, writing stuff down, stuff like that. So I plan on getting back into this. So I hope you guys look forward to these things. I plan on adding more to this and then visiting back to the same one to once it's finished. And I plan on trying to remember what everything is and memorizing it, and making it easier for me to read. Because I know what I'm writing down, but when I'm reading it, it's kind of hard on me sometimes. Some words are harder to read than others for me. So I hope you guys enjoy this. If you did, make sure to leave a like down below. If you're new to this channel and enjoy the content it brings to you, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. Make sure to turn the notification bell on as well. That way you know when I'm streaming or when I just post a video. And guys, this is going to become a regular thing. I plan on keeping these coming up. And maybe later on, I'm going to try my best to try and get this screen to work with this one as well, to try to let you see what's going on the other side of the screen. Because I'm always looking over here and stuff like that, but I need to be looking over here. But I'm actually reading this right now, but here. So yeah, the script is over 200. It is 214 lines long. So there are only, like I said before, there's 107 lines.